Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you perking good. So, highly requested video this is on the Karen Reed case that's going on right now. Apparently, allegedly, she is on trial for the, I guess, murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, who was a police officer, which is why this has made such big news. And y'all have questions. Y'all have a lot of questions. And so y'all have been asking me a lot of questions, sending a lot of them in. I have put them on my phone here. I've copied and pasted from everything that y'all have sent me, so I don't know how much we're gonna try to get done here today to figure out, but I'm gonna give it a solid go to get through these questions here and see if we can find some answers for y'all. So I'm gonna take a look at that here today. All right, so I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't get scared and run away. Got a good track record here on the channel. And we're about to dive deep into this and see what the hell we can know. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the cards over here. And of course, move this microphone right here. Penelope's going to try to help us out on this reading, I guess. So, in terms of what questions I have here, let me first read off all the questions that I've got. I'm sure there's more. There were some questions that I got that were so far, quote unquote, into the weeds that I just didn't write them down because I felt like then any videos I would do on it would take a million years. Like there were questions about cocktail glasses, tail lights, all kinds of stuff. Oh, what was it? It was funny. Red Solo cups. I don't know. I laughed when I saw questions on that. I was like, what do you mean? Blood and red Solo cups? What are you talking about? So I don't know. There's a lot of questions about a lot of things. I've written down the ones that I think are kind of the overarching types of question categories that I saw. And so I'm just gonna try to get through those as well as I can today. So, the kind of overarching things that I saw here were things such as, were Karen Reed and her boyfriend John fighting or angry at the time, or were they on good terms and loving at the time? People were asking things like, is Karen lying about something? Does she know more than what she's letting on that she knows? Are the Canton police lying about something? Are they trying to cover up something and basically that they know more than they're letting on? How's the trial gonna go for Karen? How's the trial gonna go for the police / the state? How did John O'Keefe pass away? Who, did this to him? What else can we know about what happened? Or what else can we know about the trial? What else can we know about the future of these people? All kinds of questions like that I have here. So what I figured I would do is I'm going to just start seeing what I can get through here on this video, and as usual, if there's any more that I kind of can't squeeze into a reasonable time frame here, it will go up on the Perk Squad as an extended video. That tends to be how we do it here on the channel, so we're just going to do the same thing we always do. So, as many things as we can squeeze in here, and then an extended for Perk Squad members. So, if you'd like to be a member of the Perk Squad, there's a blue join button below, as well as a link in the description box. Otherwise, like I said, I'm gonna try to get through a shit ton of things right here. Okay, there's a lot of questions people had. This was This was intense. Apparently folks are really, really interested in this one. And of course, this is all alleged, just my interpretation. Okay, just got to put that out here for the YouTube gods and overlords that they get really mad if you don't. Okay, here we go. So first of all, upright or reverse on this card. Sideways. All right. Okay, wow, what an interesting card to start out with. And I'm starting with the first question that I have on here. Were they fighting / angry, or were they on good terms / loving? So I'm starting with that. Apparently that was called into question, that some people think that they were, you know, having a tumultuous relationship near the point of breaking up, or at least, you know, arguing and things like that. And some people were like, no, they looked very lovey-dovey and blah, 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 blah. So we're going to get to the bottom of this. Sometimes people can see people arguing in public, but they're fine. Sometimes people can see people being very lovey-dovey in public, but they're not fine. You know, there's all kinds of things that can present in front of people and be different behind closed doors or when nobody's looking. So that's one reason why I thought, okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense to kind of look into this question. So that's what we're fixing to jump right on into here. And per usual, I know, I'm so sorry for all the lengthiness here at the beginning. It's got to happen. This is important. Disclaimer. People like to always know, how much do I know when I go into these kinds of things? How cold am I reading this? I had no idea what people were talking about when they were suggesting this, so I did find a video that was done weeks ago, apparently before the trial started, that was like, here's a brief synopsis of what the issues are, and we're gonna go to trial over this. So I'm like, okay. So I see that the issues are that the prosecution says she did this, she hit him with her vehicle and he passed away in the snow. And I see the other side is saying, no, the hell I did not. These people, I guess police, are conspiring against me, trying to frame me for this, and I did not do this, and that's what's going on, and that there's a lot of ambiguity in this and question marks all over on both sides. So that's what I know, and what I'm hoping is that the trial isn't over yet. I don't think I've seen anything anywhere being like, found guilty or not guilty or whatever. So hopefully I'm getting this up before the end of the trial. Hopefully I'm at least that timely. I don't know. So what we're going to see here in terms of were they fighting or angry or on good terms or loving or whatever, being that the Justice card here is right in the middle, and actually the Six of Pentacles card being right here in the middle, both of these are balance cards. These are balance cards, but it's interesting that on either side of the balance cards, I do see disturbances, which suggests here that they kind of swung back and forth on those things. That here we're seeing, oh yeah, we're doing fine. No, the hell we're not. Okay, maybe not so much here. I'm gonna have to walk away or take a break. So it looks like they had from what I'm seeing here, a bit of a strange relationship of we're fine, punctuated by no, the hell we're not moments, in ways that I don't like necessarily speculating on this, but in ways that don't look super healthy here. You know, all relationships have ups and downs. All relationships have, you know, problems or compromises or things like that. But it does seem to show that they have their fair share of issues in here. So I don't know, you know, how much I would say that, oh, it was in absolute great standing. This was a very healthy and stable, you know, dare I say, boring type of relationship because it was so healthy and stable. I'm not really seeing that. I'm seeing, a good bit of the roller coastery things here from these cards. It always seems to come back to balance, which is good. But so does a pendulum. Pendulum always comes back to the middle before it swings over here, and then back to the middle before it swings over here. So taking that in mind, taking that with a grain of salt here in terms of, do you think this is bad enough that she might have wanted him to no longer be here, that she might have decided to do something like this? And take that as you will. Let's see. Let me move on to the next question because there's so many and I would like to fit a lot in here if I can. And this next question, Lord, is Karen lying about something? Does she know more than she's letting on? So we're fixing to take a look to see if she's lying about something, if there's more that she is aware of that she knows than what she's letting on. Gonna see what we can find out with that. And as I get shuffled here, I did make mention about the Perk Squad, but one of the things also about the Perk Squad is that we do video shout outs. So shout out to you, E. Morgan, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you here. So shout out to you, E. Morgan, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. All right. So let's get into this question about whether or not Karen was, upright or reverse. Okay. Whether or not she was lying about something, whether or not she knows more than she's letting on. So, and I believe I said this before, but I'm going to just say it again. I'll let it, just my interpretation, okay? Just want to put that out there. So, it looks like I'm getting 3 cards here that are really quite positive for things that would suggest truthfulness. And even this card isn't so bad in terms of truth versus hiding. These cards in reverse, maybe it's not super black and white, this scenario. So I don't think this is a case of like pure and complete telling full truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, whatever, as people testify and say that kind of a thing. I don't know if she's testified or if she's going to. I don't know any of that. But there's some holes here. There's some holes here. So it looks like, and I don't know what her statements have been about her boyfriend, and about like what she thinks or feels about him or whatever, or what she thought or felt for him. But if she's made, statements like, I would never do this because I loved him, or, I respect him, I cared a lot about him, I could never hurt him, or whatever. If she's made statements like that, I would imagine those to be truthful statements, because this relationship card is coming up upright in that kind of a way. So to me, this seems like if she's ever made statements like that, or if she is going to make statements like that, that here comes off as truthful. As we're kind of moving through this, again, not so bad here, pretty good here. I'm seeing that there are some, how do you put this? Like, again, because this is the balance card. So, like, if we're thinking about balance as being, again, the center point, the baseline of the ups and downs, the middle of the pendulum swinging, I think the base of what she's saying either is true or she believes to be true. It's weird that I feel like I need to make that distinction, and I'm not exactly sure why, but is true or she believes to be true. But then we have some of these things. And why is true or she believes to be true. What does that mean? If you know what that means, or you have some ideas as to what that might mean, just put them in the comments below, because that's odd. I'm trying to think of an example of when they've said that before in anything and what it has meant before. Like, here's an example. It's not related, but I'm just trying to get any example to contextualize that in any possible way that I can. Like, if you are, you and someone are having an argument or something, and you say something, and what you're saying may not actually be the truth, but you think it is. You really think that, you really believe what you're saying. What you're saying, you don't think you're lying. You really think you're saying the truth, but either you have your viewpoint is not objective enough, so it's not exactly accurate, or you got dealt some wrong facts some kind of way, so what you're saying is not accurate, or it's just your perspective because you were maybe not in your right mind some kind of a way. Maybe you were like sick or experiencing some sort of, challenges around mental illness or something, and so your perspective is off some kind of a way, so it's not quite accurate, or I don't know, like in that argument you're not lying and you think what you're saying is true, but it's factually and objectively not exactly true, but that doesn't make you a liar or wrong, or well, it makes you wrong, but you know what I mean? So again, I know that's examples, not what's going on here necessarily per se, but like in the past, if they've ever said anything like, oh, that's what someone thinks is true, that's the kind of things that's come up. So maybe there's some kind of an aspect of that to this, some kind of a way that example can be translated and transposed into this, some kind of a way. I don't know. There's something weird here around that I'm not entirely sure of. But either way, I guess that's good for her that, in that case, that it comes off, mostly truthful with that. But again, here we go. Bottom row, King of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands upright, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. With this Ace of Wands upright, again, this is more of a truth-oriented type of card, which is good. But, with, I presume, his card coming up in a reverse position and a Wheel of Fortune in a reverse position, which is like, it's technically a bad luck card. It's a bad omen and things like that. This feels like, again, there's some kind of a weird gray area or something here in terms of her truthfulness. So I don't want to call her a liar. And like I said, I'd say 3.5 of these point to truthfulness, which is the majority of this here. But it does feel like there might be something else she knows about him, something that's bad luck, bad omen-ish, that she's not being entirely forthcoming about. I don't know if this is a detail that she's knowingly withholding, unknowingly withholding, knowingly skewing, unknowingly skewing. But it's something that doesn't sit right. So this is like mostly truthful, but perhaps hands not totally clean. So, man, when people said this was a wild case because of its ambiguity, y'all were not freaking kidding. This is like, the first question was slightly ambiguous. The second question, here we go, is an even bigger question, and it's even more ambiguous. I'm nervous about the rest of these things. So let's just pull this up, because if this is what it says about her, the next question I'm pretty sure was, about, are the Canton police lying about something? Are they trying to cover up something? Do they know more than they're letting on? Like, that kind of a thing. Because if it's saying like hers mostly truthful-ish here, but there's some kind of weird things going on that don't seem quite accurate or quite right. Misleading, maybe, knowingly or unknowing, I don't know. There's something weird about it that I can tell they're not wanting to shit talk her here, but something's off about it. So I'm curious about them. So I'm going to pull this up because, again, in essence of time, I want to be able to fit as much in here as I can before I go to the Perk Squad extended video, because I know, like, this seems to be one of those that, again, with as many questions as y'all had, that could have been, several videos probably, but, whew. So, let's see. I'm going to get shuffled up here, and as I get shuffled up, if anybody would like to book a private reading, then you can book a private reading on my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. I have my private readings listed there. I also have Reiki Energy Healing remotely listed there for anybody that wants any kind of cleansing, clearing, understanding about kind of where some things stand spiritually or with the chakras or things like that. Just getting an energy tune-up of sorts, and some insights around that. I have that there. I also have life coaching for anybody that feels like, hey, I'm stuck. I just need a little bit of help kind of getting my wheels spinning here and getting some movement on some things, or, just help fix it some kind of way. Give you some insights, whatever, clarity, I don't know. I got life coaching there for that. And for anybody that wants to learn to read the cards the way I read the cards, then there's also tarot tutoring on there as well. So BeasTalksAndTarot.com, lots of stuff there. But Canton Police, and I hope I'm saying that right. Looks like that's how it's spelled. Canton Police. Are they lying? Are they trying to cover something up? Is there something that they're saying that, or they know more than they're letting on? All that kind of stuff here. Let's see about them. Let's push all this over here a bit. Okay. Very interesting here. So initially, I've got, a majority of these upright cards, which would suggest something good. But if you remember in the previous reading, whenever I was doing it, her reversal that she had here, which was her Five of Pentacles, I believe, in reverse, it actually was a better position to see it in reverse. Technically, these two I would rather not see in the upright with this question, which means we have literally half that are not so great and half that are okay here when we're talking about their level of honesty here, because we're asking about if the Canton police lied. So it's, hers was slanting slightly towards truth. Theirs is like a literal 50-50, how it's kind of putting here, which is weird. Why? Okay. I was like, why is nobody, 100% on one end or another? But I guess this is life. In life, things are messy, and people want to come out looking the cleanest, the clearest, the best, the most on top. And so people are gonna, do slant fits to try to make themselves look good and prove their points and yada, yada, yada. That's what happens in life. So I need to not be naive. I need to just read the cards and, there we go. So then in that case, I'm going to put these here and these here. So, in terms of, let's talk about things that are going well here. All right, let's start with that. So it does look like, in terms of facts or evidence, it does look like they do have some kind of facts or evidence here that would look good for them. They do have something here. It doesn't look like a lot, because especially like an Ace of Pentacles card, I mean, technically that's the lowest of the ace through 10, you know, it's a 1 card. So I wouldn't expect that they have a ton of evidence, but it does look like they have quite a few things that point in, quote unquote, her direction. I mean, here she is, you know, and so I can see why they would have had those insights that, you know, here's our eureka moment, our light bulb moment and stuff like that, why they would have, you know, related this to her, why it would have made sense to go the route of pursuing her. I can see why they would do that. It looks like there physically are things that add up that on their side, their way of thinking, that does suggest that they could be right. So I want to honor that exists here. I don't know if they have gotten to a point in trial yet where they have shown all of that evidence or not. I don't know exactly, you know, where they're at in terms of presenting that, but I do see stuff here that looks like it could be good. Over here, the reason why I am not a fan of these two, even if they're upright, is because this is a conflict card and this is my fuckboy card. Those of y'all who have been part of the channel, you know. So, and this is, you know, it's in reverse, but it's an out of balance type of card and a bad timing card. So there's something about timing that they did that looks really bad. There's something about balance that looks way out of whack here, like totally unbalanced some kind of a way. Don't know why the hell a fuckboy card would be coming up for the police, or the state, whoever is, you know, what do you call it? The prosecution? Is that the people that, yeah, prosecution defense, yeah. I have no idea. Like, fuckboy card usually comes up for people who are, you know, fucking around, or they are, you know, doing what one of those kinds of people would like to do. They lead people on. They're cocky. They're, you know, they showboat. It's like a peacock boasting his feathers. You know, y'all know what a fuckboy is. Y'all know what that energy brings. So that's weird. And yeah, conflict card, that's weird too. What's the conflict about? Are they fighting internally about this? Or, you know, is there some bad beef, bad blood here that we don't know about, or that, you know, who knows? Maybe y'all know about this. Again, I've definitely watched some overviews. I got myself, I studied enough to do my overviews. But if I'm going over some things where y'all are like, we know those details, well, I read relatively cold for a reason. People like that. They asked for that. So that's, I don't exactly know why that would be the case. You know, usually I have some sort of examples that I would give, but I'm a little bit at a loss here. Around that, this is just, something's way out of balance. There's a lot of conflict around this, and fuckboy energy around this. And so there's some sort of dishonesty coming from that. I guess with this, since we've got kind of a half and half situation going on, the crux of that overview video that I saw was like, oh, this is a conspiracy, they're planting things, they're framing her, whatever is what one side is alleging. So I guess we'll, within the lies, let's look into that. If they are, if they are conspiring to get her, framing her, and all that kind of stuff. Let's see if that's what we're looking at here. And I'm being mindful of the time because I'm probably gonna end up needing to take it to the extended version soon, but I still have some time to keep going here. Okay, so YouTube doesn't like it when I make excessively long videos. I don't mind it when I make excessively long videos. I'm a talker. But YouTube decidedly does not like it when I do that. I guess we're going to take both of these. So, yeah, let's see here. So, okay. All right. Interesting to still get this card like this in this position in this corner again. Okay. So, here's how I'm going to try to put this. The Strength card is in reverse. So it looks like whatever they do have, is relatively weak for this to come up in reverse. The Nine of Pentacles is also in reverse. So that means, if we're talking about this equating to Karen Reed, that she either is not in great standing herself or is not very, it came to mind, not very likable maybe. I don't want to be rude. It's just, it came to my head, so I'm going to say it, whatever. I say what I see, I say what comes to me, or something along those lines. So this is like, oh, I'm stressing out about this. Like maybe there was stress about this or pressure to do a certain thing. You know how we see all the time in like true crime cases and stuff that we do, oh, there's pressure to go ahead and find the perpetrator and make an arrest and put somebody away, and just so we can wrap this up and go on our way or something. Like there's some pressure to do that. Maybe they were under some kind of pressure or something here. So I do see that kind of a thing here. In terms of like what would be a level of like, again, conspiracy, like framing someone, planting things. I don't know that I'm getting that, because I'm not getting my sneaky cards. I'm just getting my lack of strength, weakness cards. I'm getting my paranoid cards. I'm getting my I have a lot to do. I've got a lot on my shoulder card. I want to keep up appearances. I want to have, look a certain way card. I've got a bad luck card again. Like, this is unfortunate. This is, I don't know. From here, this does not necessarily, to me, from what I'm looking at, look like planting things to frame someone. I don't necessarily see that from this. I wouldn't say that. That was a question that people had asked, and that was a question that was brought up in that overall video or whatever summary that I watched. I wouldn't say that about this. Anything else we need to know about their side then? Let me look at the question again. So, Are they lying about something? Are they trying to cover up something? Well, it said, well, that's different. The thought of framing someone and planting things is different than covering up something. To me, covering up something is more like you messed up and you don't want people to know. Let's look into that. Fuck it. Why not? Whatever. Let's just look into that. Because this didn't look like it went anywhere to me. So let's look into that. If for whatever reason they may have, they're trying to cover something up, or they did something stupid, or they did something wrong, or I don't know. I don't want to make fun of people or whatever. I don't want to. So I don't know. Let's see. What do we see for that, spirit guides? What can we know on that? Started out kind of hefty. Ooh. Okay, so we got a lot of pentacles here. This is half pentacles. And y'all know when I'm doing my true crime and stuff like that, pentacles about evidence and things. So it starts with the heartbreak card. So that's an intense way to start. Are you trying to cover something up? Are you trying to hide anything that you did, that you feel like you did something wrong or stupid or bad or embarrassing or whatever? Or is there something you don't want people to know or, whatever? And we get a heartbreak card as the first card. That's a little bit suggestive. Besides, heartbreak card. Well, okay, hold on. No. So John O'Keefe was a police officer, and they are the police. Are they from the same police thing? Do they know each other as, cop to cop? Like they could be heartbroken over it being about him. So it could be that their emotions are in the way. Like, oh, we're investigating the death of a fellow police officer, and that is very sad to us, to have that. So that could be that. There could be a number of reasons why that would be there, but I just think that that's kind of an intense way to start, and it was just a little jarring. With a question like that, I wasn't exactly expecting to see such an emotional card necessarily. But then we get into these kinds of Pentacles cards that are more, physical in nature. Again, evidence, physical, tangible, things like that. And I do see this is in reverse. So evidence in reverse, trying to juggle things, possibly dropping the ball, possibly, something like not being able to keep them all in the air. This is kind of sitting on it, watching and waiting kind of a thing. So that doesn't look, super strong necessarily. You wouldn't want, when you're thinking of the tangible stuff, you wouldn't want it to come up in reverse, like you can't hold on to something, or like you're dropping something, or like you're just sitting here, playing the waiting game with the Jeopardy song in the background or something like that. Like there's something with that doesn't, necessarily look strong. And that's what they were saying a while ago. They gave the strength card in reverse. It was a weakness. So it does look like there's weakness here. That there's weakness in this, either in the case, the police and state's case, there's weakness, or it's weakness as in there's the police officer's weakness, or the investigation's weakness, or something. Because this is a walking away card, like a distancing. If it was in reverse, it'd be something more permanent. But this is just I'm trying to distance myself from this. I'm just trying to get some distance here. So what is the distancing here? Why is there some distancing? And then we've got our Queen of Wands card coming up here. So here, female card upright. Is this referring to Karen Reed in the upright position here? So I don't know. This doesn't look very strong, again, the whole weakness being the kind of baseline that we're seeing here in this. There's something here that doesn't look good. So I hate to say this, but like when people watch my my readings on like politics and stuff like that, and people ask me a lot of political questions that, you know, verge on conspiracy, and they're wanting to know, is that true? Is that real? And sometimes I see things that look like there's truth to it, but sometimes I say, it doesn't necessarily look so much like conspiracy as it does look like incompetence. You know, like I say that all the time, like it's not so much everybody is out to get somebody, it's that they're screwing up left, right, and sideways, and so it makes it look like it could be that, but they're just really screwing up. Like in all of those political videos that I've said stuff like that, like, you know, for half of the time people think it's like that, but it's like you have to be really smart and really on the ball and really in control of every little detail to be able to pull off, you know, an effective conspiracy. But to be incompetent is easy, and a lot of times some things can be explained by that. So I guess from the two types of things that I've seen, I'm veering towards the, if I had to, oh, you think I took 5,000 steps today? I didn't. I'm shuffling cards. But thank you for thinking that I have exercised sufficiently today. Brilliant. But timing was really funny on that too. But yeah, it feels like it was like punctuating the fact that that I'm talking here about the difference between smart enough, slick enough, wise enough to pull something off and frame and plot and plan versus I'm just sloppy. And from the things that we've looked at here, I'm leaning a little bit more towards, and that maybe that's why there's emotion here. What if they're embarrassed? What if they did things like, what if they let evidence slip? What if they did, you know, drop the ball on something? What if they did whatever? And that's what the emotion card is. Maybe that's why the emotion card comes first and front and center. It's like, I have a lot of emotion related to this because I really want this to look a certain way, because otherwise it'll make me look bad or stupid or incompetent or whatever. That really could be it. That really could be it, because I did not see enough on the other side about like being super plot and plan or whatever. That doesn't mean that people can't try in terms of to try to make themselves look good, but it's less about, you know, I want to do whatever this kind of big mad scientist thing, and more about what can I do to try and make myself look good. You know, that's less about another person and more about, you know, someone's ego or something like that, or these people's ego. I mean, it could be that. There's been a lot of pressure on cops for things like, you know, the Uvalde pew pew incidents at school and stuff, where they totally botched it, and very young, little, precious, innocent lives were lost because of that. And people don't ever want to be seen as, oh, I'm that type. Everybody is thinking that the cops are either bad or stupid nowadays, and I don't want to be labeled as one of those. And it could be that they were lining up to end up falling down, that kind of a thing, and they were trying to avoid that. I don't know. There's some weirdness here. And I'm already exceeding what the YouTubies like me to do here, because we're getting like 45 minutes in here. So what I'm gonna do, I have these other questions left. Like I said, I'm gonna do, you know, the Perk Squad extended video where I will ask the rest of these questions, which is basically, how's the trial gonna go for Karen? How's the trial gonna go for the police/state? If there's anything we can know about how did you know, John O'Keefe pass away, or, you know, how did that happen, or who did that, if there's anything we're allowed to know on that, you know, whatever else we can know about this, I will take a look over there at that. So again, if you want to join the Perk Squad, blue join button down below. tried to squeeze in as many of these things as I could, and so we got a lot of context here about what Karen knows or doesn't know, truthfulness or not, what the police knows versus doesn't know, truthfulness or not, whether we're verging on the planting things and framing versus trying to do some CYA for, you know, covering up embarrassments or things like that and stuff. So we got a lot of context here, but we need some more that we'll look in over there. And I can tell why y'all thought this one was a big deal. And so, you know, I guess we'll see how all this stuff plays out. And there's plenty of other video ideas out there. Y'all have been sending in a lot of suggestions for my considerations list, so I'll be checking into those and seeing what we can do with those. But yes, Perk Squad, stay tuned. I'm coming at you with an extended, and everyone else, I will put a B-roll at the end of this to try to lift some spirits, because some of this is a little bit intense. So, you know, watch the B-roll if you'd like a little bit of a chuckle, a little bit of a laugh here, to lighten the mood, and let me know your thoughts. What do you think? You know, anything that you noticed as particularly salient or relevant in this reading from what you might know, especially if any of you have been really following every detail of this. And yeah, so anywho, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love me. Bye, y'all. Instant karma. Instant karma. Really? You're gonna mount him for a split second after you just yelled at him for a similar issue? Wow. Y'all are all hypocrites and y'all all nasty. Rottens. 5 rottens. My goodness.